Wealth, Poverty, and Politics. Thomas Sowell's Timeless Lessons. Imagine two countries side by side with the exact same natural resources. One becomes wealthy, the other stays poor. Why? Or why do some immigrant groups arrive with almost nothing and rise to the top in a generation, while others remain at the bottom for decades? These are the explosive questions Thomas Sowell tackles in his 2015 book, Wealth, Poverty, and Politics, An International Perspective. Sowell, one of America's clearest economic thinkers and a senior fellow at the Hoover Institute, doesn't offer slogans or blame. He offers facts, history, and global comparisons that span centuries. The result? A book that dismantles simplistic explanations and leaves you seeing the world differently. Sowell wrote this during the height of inequality debates, after the 2008 crisis and the rise of movements like Occupy Wall Street. Many voices claimed the rich got rich by exploiting the poor, that racism or imperialism explained everything. Sowell says, look at the data across time and continents. Poverty is the default state of humanity for most of history. Wealth is not manna from heaven. It has to be produced through knowledge, skills, habits, and institutions. He builds on his earlier trilogy to show that disparities have always existed, and their patterns keep changing. The book's structure is straightforward: geography, culture, social factors, politics, and finally conclusions about causation versus blame. First, geography. Sowell is clear: the world was never a level playing field. Waterways matter enormously. Europe's navigable rivers and natural harbors lowered transport costs and spread ideas. Sub-Saharan Africa's short coastline, few good harbors, and seasonal rivers did the opposite. Fertile land, climate, animals, and diseases complete the picture. Temperate zones encouraged food storage and planning. No horses or oxen in the pre-Columbian Americas meant no wheeled transport on a large scale. But geography is influence, not destiny. The same mountains that isolated Appalachia also isolated parts of Europe. Isolation, physical or cultural, is the recurring killer of progress. Next, culture, the most portable and powerful factor. Culture isn't food or festivals. It's skills and values. It is the attitudes toward education, saving, and delayed gratification. Groups carry their culture with them. Overseas Chinese arrived in Southeast Asia and the US with little, yet built thriving businesses. Jewish immigrants, Lebanese traders, and Indians in East Africa did the same. Cultural diffusion explains sudden leaps. Japan in the late 19th century rocketed from feudalism to industrial power. China in 1433 chose isolation and fell behind for centuries. Sowell stresses that education alone is not human capital. Schooling without values can produce resentment. Some cultures emphasize science and commerce. Others prioritize different things. Equal opportunity will never produce equal outcomes when groups value different things. Social factors include population patterns and mental capabilities. Sowell shows gaps are heavily cultural. He points to acting white pressures in some communities and differences in parenting and reading habits. He rejects pure genetic explanations while acknowledging real group differences shaped by history. Politics is where things get dangerous. Good institutions, property rights, rule of law, turn geography into wealth. Bad policies destroy it. Sowell dismantles two big myths. Myth 1. Slavery made the rich rich. The American South and Brazil were poorer regions despite slavery. Britain prospered more after losing its empire. Expelled minorities often thrived elsewhere. Myth 2. The welfare state lifts people up. Evidence shows it often reduces incentives to work. It can increase single parenthood and lock groups into dependency. Minimum wages raised Black youth unemployment. Diversity politics that demonize successful minorities creates resentment instead of progress. Skewed distributions are normal in every endeavor, from golf scores to Nobel Prizes. So what should you take away? First, distinguish causation from blame. Blame-based policies breed grievance. Causation-based policies focus on what actually works. Second, wealth is produced, not transferred. Focus on growing the economic pie through innovation. Third, culture and institutions trump almost everything else. Transplant the right values and groups rise. Fourth, isolation kills progress. Stay open to the best ideas from anywhere. Fifth, equal opportunity is a worthy goal. Equal outcomes is an impossible and dangerous fantasy. Sowell's ultimate lesson. Facts are stubborn things. Ignore them and you hurt the people you claim to help. Study history and geography honestly, and you can make better choices as individuals and nations. Wealth, Poverty, and Politics is not a feel-good book. It's a clear-eyed one. Sowell reminds us that today's poorest people live better than kings because earlier generations created knowledge. Our job is to create more, not to fight over what already exists. If you want to understand the real drivers of human progress, read this book. It will change how you see the world. Thanks for watching. Drop a comment with your takeaway and pick up a copy of Wealth, Poverty, and Politics. Knowledge is the ultimate wealth.